Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good evening. Today we're gonna start our discussion, which is about of the mental health at the workplace. Before we start our discussion today, let me introduce our panels for being in our discussion today. First, Mr. Refki, Mr. Shafar, Mr. Hafiz, Mr. Nas, and me, Mr. Adam, as a moderator for in our discussion today. So, before we start our discussion, let me just briefly give an idea about what is about mental health. Mental health is a state of well-being in which a person understands his or her own abilities, can cope with the formal abilities, and can cope with the normal stress or life, then can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. So, we will start our discussion by inviting Mr. Shafar to give his opinion.
Okay, for my opinion, that I can say that one of the factor, one of the factor of the mental illness in the workplace is the harassment and discrimination at the workplace. The point that can support the harassment and the discrimination at the workplace is because of the race and the religion difference between the employer. The religion perspective, discrimination at workplace because of your religion or belief is could include the dismissing you because of your religion, and number two, because of the advertising for job applicant for only one religion only, and the number three is requiring you to dress a certain way. For example, you need to wear the short dress or short skirt. That might be not acceptable for the other religion like the Muslim woman. Any objection so far?
The short skirt, I can say, is like flight attendant, right?
Oh, I think you don't understand what I'm trying to say. I will give you another example. Okay, another example is when they are requiring you to wear the sacred items, such as for the sing man, like in Malaysia, sing man might be required to remove its kara, like a symbolic bracelet.
like you, like if Muslim they wear headscarf, right?
Yes, that's correct. So another example is making you work at time that you cannot. Such as Muslim we have 5 times for the university. So when they force you to do the work do the work at time like Zuhur, that you should perform the Zuhur prayer. So they force you to not to work and not giving you permission to do the prayer. In the race perspective, for the race perspective is discrimination when you are treated unfair. Like in Indonesia we have Indian, Chinese and Malay. So when one company does not accept another race, like when the Chinese company does not accept the Malays that try to apply job, and so this.
Well, such a good brief explanation from Mr. Shafar about how he concluded about the discrimination and harassment at work that related to what he had explained before. Next, we turned out to be Mr. Hafiz to elaborate more.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Adam. Yes, I agree with Mr. Safa. In my opinion, gender bias also is the one factor that can lead to the harassment and the discrimination at work. Workplace gender discrimination came in many different ways, but generally it's that an employee or job applicant is treated differently or less favorably because of their sex, gender identity, or sexual orientation. Even though the words sex and gender have different meaning, law against discrimination at work often use them interchangeably. Sometimes, workers experience discrimination because of their gender and sometimes else like their race or ethnicity. For example, a woman of black color may experience discrimination in the workplace differently from the white people. She may be harassed, paid less, even more, or pass over for the promotion because of the combination of the gender and her race. Uh, do you guys understand what I said? Any addition?
Sorry, I want to ask, can you elaborate more on your point?
Okay, thank you. For example, being held to different or higher standard or being evaluated more harshly because of the gender, or because you don't act or present yourself in a way that conform to traditional ideas of femininity or traditionality. For example, if a worker who identify as a woman receive a negative performance, the coworker or the another coworker will criticize her for being too aggressive, which why men who behave the same way are praised for showing leadership. That's all.
Well, such a good point from Mr. Hafiz. Then we turn our attention to Mr. Nas to give his opinion.
I'm sorry, but I have my own opinion and my own view about this thing about harassment and discrimination. So sometimes the person itself that attract people to harass and discriminate them. Like it's not like they want to be harassed or discriminate, but they don't realize that they invite people to harass them. Like they go to work by wearing revealing clothes and go to work by not wearing the proper attire. And sometimes the newcomer, so always newcomer that got harassed and discriminated, right?
Yes.
So they don't mingle with their co-worker. They just often by themselves, even when eating, when doing their job, they don't mingle with their co-worker. So like their co-worker may perceive that she or he is arrogant or not wanting to mingle with them, not wanting to talk with them because of their different races or different beliefs. So yeah, it's my opinion about that.
I think that is will be wrong because of when you say that when the woman wear the attractive dress, it's actually their right to dress like that. But that doesn't mean that other people or other employees can arrest them because of their dress the open like attractive dress. So also for the communication, when you have a weak communication with other actually. So also that is not right for for other employer to arrest them because of weak communication, because of everybody need to support each other.
When I put it like that, yeah, your point makes sense to me. So I agree.
What about you, Mr.
Okay, thank you for sharing your point of view. Okay, for me, I will stick with my own point of view, which is agree with Mr. Razan, which is in disagreeing with your points, which is for me nowadays we all live in Malaysia, which is in a multiracial country, which is we can see that the race and religion we accept it. We don't have any discrimination on that part, that particular part. And in Indonesia also, we also have we don't discriminate on the gender. Because we can see in the professional field, such as a doctor or an engineer, you can see that some of them, which is in the chairperson, also have a female, and there's also a male, which is in that particular position. So we can just simply say that this kind of idea can be one of factor which cause a mental illness.
From that, Mr. Ref he say that about the race, and to agree my point.
Yes.
So, and to say something that maybe Mr. Ref forgot about the event that happened in Malaysia in 13 May at 1969, where there are have the dissatisfaction in terms of the distribution of when have the conflicts between the race in Malaysia. So that's will make impact, maybe a little impact, small impact for every race that invest in that time. So that's the point when the race that be the problem for the harassment and the discrimination at the workplace. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So I think the solution might be. So can I propose a solution for that? So I think a company can make a workshop. Can the one that received the harassment herself can know about how to report and know the authority to where to report, so that it is easy for them to catch the one that harass the.
Yes, that's true.
So it's meaning that the harassment and discrimination is the correct factor, right, for the
Yes.
I think it's one of
the health.
Yeah, we can conclude that is it one of the factor which is harassment and discrimination is one of the factor which is that can lead to a mental health at the workplace. Now we can have another look for the second issue, which is increase workload at the workplace. How about what do you guys think about it?
I think Mr. Nalhan have something to say, right, about the increase of workload, right?
So nowadays the economy is like tight, right? So the household becomes a little bit struggle. Yeah, thank you. So the worker return late to do overtime job, and then when they return late to home, they have to wait for the road to clear up because of the road jams, and also they don't have enough time to spend with their family at home, so that can make them stressed and depressed. So in the morning they got to wake up early to go to work, right? So sometimes when they overtime, when they use the overtime, our brain is programmed to sleep at night, right? During the night hours, to recover all the information it has processed in the daytime. So when the daylight tells brain to be awake, we wake up, right? So with the overtime, when we work late at night, this thing turn this cycle upside down. Our brain will be confused, then our body function will follow that the cycle are disrupted. So the disruption of this function can lead to stress and can also lead to mental illness.
So your main point is when the workload is increased, so it will make the workers little late, right?
Yeah.
So but have you think that increase of workload just the employee excuse? Because the main problem of workload increasing is because of their poor management time.
That is some of the reason also.
Yeah, the workers always postpone the given work that which will result a lot of work will be overdue. Right? So the makes the consequently a lot of work being done at the same time. So that's when they feel like a lot of thing to do. They can see they will say that the reason of their stress because of the workload, but actually it's because of their attitude to postpone the work that they have to do actually.
You got a point, but there is also some cruel employer or some cruel boss that after the KP, there are not enough people in their office, right? So they have to work for other people. So that is why the work will increase, and who the one that suffer? The employees, the one that suffer. The boss, not the one that suffer. So yeah, that is my point.
So Sabi, do you agree with Nasad? Mr. Nasad?
For me, I not agree here sebab because for me I am afraid this is not true because rest is not enough. It's not the reason increase of the workload cause of mental illness. This is because even the worker return on the time to their home, but if they stay doing heavy activity or activities that can stress them out, such playing game just like PUBG or Mobile Legend that use our brain to think. Supposedly the worker should go home early to take a break, but they use the time to entertain themselves. So this can lead them exhausted themselves rather than replenishing the energy.
I'm sorry, but I have to disagree because playing games, as you see, right? There is a hobby, and hobby we can release our stress, right?
Yes.
We can release our stress from the tired day of working. Maybe we can have time management a little bit. So to sleep early, not too late. We just play maybe like one game, two game.
If you say like that, if you say you play the game just like a couple of 30 minutes, a couple of hours, maybe we can consider it. But if the worker play too long the game, about 2 or 3 hours or more than 5 hours, if the worker if the worker so this can lead them exhausted themselves rather than replenishing their energy. If they're tired themselves, this can cause them to lose the performance of the job. When their performance drop, this can make the higher up or the supervisor, mean the boss, to push them to do better, and this can cause the worker to feel burdened by the pressure and can lead to the stress during working.
I see.
So,
Excuse me.
you agree with me or agree with me?
Okay. In my point, okay, I see that I can see that your point is true, and for the side so it's true. But for me personally, I will say that I will agree with Mr. Nasad, which is increasing the workload in the office. You can see that the time management is a crucial part in the aspect which is determined, which is a person can do the work on time or overdue. Okay. How to do it? You need to do it like multitasking, right? Okay. Multitasking require many energy. We need to think. We need to think fast, and we need to do many things at one time, which is it can cause us to be burnt out. Okay. Burnt out is not really means that it's only to the person which work in a office. It can also cause to many people which need to do multitasking. Why I say multitasking? Nowadays we can see that nowadays we need to do many things fast. We don't like, or we don't want it to be delayed. When we want it now, we need it now. So we need to do it fast.
So I would like to propose a solution to the burnout. So if to prevent burnout, I think we should or we could take a short break, like going on a short trip with our family to like spend time with our family, right?
Oh, you
So-
mean you mean go to holiday or vacation?
Go on,
Short holiday,
short
yeah.
holiday or vacation to replenish our energy, to make ourselves happy, to prevent it from accumulate in our head, and we got mental illness or we got stressed out.
Yes, that's true.
So do you guys have anything else to the way to prevent burnout or?
I think the company also should have like one day or like something
A short trip.
short trip within the within the co-workers
Yeah.
actually, right, to make sure that one is to make sure that the relationship between the co-workers is
This can prevent also the first of our problem, the harassment and
That's true.
for the communication, right?
You mean just like team building?
Yes,
activities or anything?
We do the networking, team building, and then make them more closer each other, right? So I think that that's what the positive.
Wow, such a competitive discussion among the both sides, which is agree with the statement, and for another side which is disagree for this issue. Well, what can I say that bravo for agree side that can that have great skill of influencing people to that as we can see as agree side that manage to influence that for people that don't disagree at first, and then with the conclusive and the concrete evidence that been explained by the agree side, as we can see now all of us agree with the one statement. Yes, we can conclude that now we agree harassment and discrimination, and the second point, which is the increasing workload at the workplace, is the two main points that can lead to the mental illness at the workplace. So I think that's all from us today. Thank you for lending
Your ears.
your ears for our discussion. So that's all. Thank you.